A wonderful morning and welcome once again to Governance, Policies, and You. And we've got our guide this morning once again. And without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. We've got Shena Stubbs Gibson. How are you doing?
I am doing well. Good morning, Nadine. Good morning, listeners.
All right, awesome. We're still on the path with Path.
Yes, I like that one.
All right.
I like that one.
And I think you would have gotten some questions from last week.
Right, so there are persons who wanted to know basically if the qualified persons who were still asking what the categories were, although I've gone through some of that last week. So I will just go over those again, right? And stuff. So as I was explaining before, that there are different categories under which the PASS program is administered. So persons can qualify through one of those different categories. There are about 5 of them. Children from birth up to the completion of secondary school are assisted through the PASS program. Pregnant women who are breastfeeding, or if they have members of the family who are pregnant or who have not passed 6 months since the birth of the last child, those women would also qualify. As I was explaining, sometimes they are particularly vulnerable group because they are not only having to find resources for themselves, but having to find resources for that unborn child in vitro in their womb, or for that young child that's not yet 6 months old. So there is that category as well.
Right.
Elderly, people who are 60 years or older, persons with disabilities, and if you have a disability, you would have to be certified by the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. So don't just go up there because you think that you have a disability, but you have no paperwork.
So it has to be certified.
It has to be certified, whether it is, some persons may be blind, some persons may be deaf, some persons may be mentally impaired, get it certified. And again, the 5th category is adult. They call it adult poor. So this is really a poor adult. So you're the head of a family consisting only of persons who are over the age of 18, but under 60 years. And you may be, so if you're over 18 but under 60 and you're the head of a family, so like you're a mother or you are so you're a husband, you would be able to go through that category as well.
Right.
Now, there are certain conditions that you will have to adhere to ensure that you get the grant, the PASS grant. The conditions are that you have to, if you're getting, for instance, assistance for the children, right? And the children are 6 and over, they are required to maintain their attendance rate at school at not less than 85%.
Nice.
So you must send them go school.
Yes, very nice.
You like that, right?
Yes,
We're not giving them we're not giving them the money, and we don't ensure that they go to school. Education, education is a great equalizer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're getting money that can assist you, the best thing to take it to do with that money. The best thing, and remember, this is to assist the child. So this is the best thing to do is to ensure that you spend that right on education.
Right.
Because Nadine, sometimes when you go into the boardrooms and you look at some of the persons that you're sitting across the table from, or you go into the courtroom and stuff. It's just education, the great equalizer.
Wow.
So, listeners, education, send the children to school. Send the children to school. There are persons, too many persons. Sometimes you find there are different types of persons in Nadine. You have persons who have come across who are poor, but they ensure that their children go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a person so you have a friend of mine who used to say they suffer from poverty of mind, not poverty of pocket. So the mind is
yes.
poor, but yes, because you don't send your children to school, right? And poverty of mind is worse than poverty of pocket, right? So send the children to school or you won't get the benefit. And if it's a very young child that you're getting the assistance for, that is under 6 years old, make certain you take the child to get his medical visit. Take him to the clinic, take him to get him or her to get their shots and their 1 year examination and their 1 year shots and their 2 year shots, and the shots I think go up until about 4 years of age. If you're not doing that, you're going to have a problem getting the monies, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, you will also to get the pass to get the funds administered, you are going to need to satisfy them. So even though you fall in one of these categories, because you and I are adults, other persons may be over 60, but so it doesn't just mean that because you are an adult, you have to establish that you really are a poor adult, or that you have a child that's within the particular age group and that child is in need, or even you yourself, you're pregnant or you're lactating, but you have to now establish that you're in need, because if not, then all women who are pregnant or lactating, or quite a few of them, would then listen to this program and say, yes, let me see if I can get some extra money. No, you're going to have to fill out a form that will look at like your socioeconomic situation. Are you working? How much are you earning? If you're not employed, that kind of thing. How many members in the family? And I've heard some persons say that they find the form is quite detailed. Some persons think it's intrusive, right? Because they may ask you things about like stuff you even have in your house, and some people don't like that. Do you have a TV? What kind of what kind of toilet do you have? Some people find that it's quite intrusive, but it's to establish, whether there is a need there, whether there is a genuine need in the opinion of the ministry. And if you obtain a particular score or below a particular score, then you will be then eligible for the pass grant, right? Yes, and it's for 4 years, right? So the benefits are delivered for 4 years. It's not for life, but after that, you can apply for it to be reapplied, and you will be reassessed.
Okay.
Because maybe a child has aged out of it. Because remember, we said it goes up to secondary school.
Right.
So we will reassess you to see if your situation continues, or maybe you won the lotto, or maybe a disability has cleared up. Or maybe sometimes what happens to the person dies, unfortunately. And so it is not to be assumed that this money will just keep it paid out. And in fact, if the person dies, we should advise the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Sometimes what family members do, they continue to receive the check, even though the person has died. That's not good.
That's not right.
And I need for telling her that, and I listen to Love, and I listen to Auntie Nadine.
It is
I know the right
truth.
thing. It's not right. It ain't right.
Oh,
No, They will need the documentation you will need when you go there. You'll need walk with your birth certificate, your ID, to establish, So if you're going and you're saying, I'm a poor adult, I'm not working, walk with your ID, walk with it here, and bring your birth certificate. If you want to get assistance for your children, bring the children. Bring the children's birth certificate, not the children, right?
Okay.
Let me just say that quickly.
She quickly said.
No, the monies are usually paid by checks, and you can collect them directly from the post office in your community. But they also have provision for payment through a key card, an NCD key card, which you can then use at the ATM and access your money. So you could also establish, or if you have an NCD account, that could also be used. Monies can be transferred there, and there can be electronic transfers as well. So, my dear Nadine and listeners, that's what we spoke about today. How you can take advantage of PASS, who does PASS benefit, the age groups, what are the different categories, as well as the conditions on the payment, the conditions that must be satisfied for the monies to be paid out and for the monies to continue to be paid out. Next week, we will move on to some other areas of interest.
Yes, it's a lot, but I love, as always, we always say that we love the fact that we can remind and in many cases inform our listeners of what to do, because boy, I tell you, it's so much. It's a lot, isn't it?
Yes, it's a lot. And what happens is that sometimes, Nadine, there are benefits out there that persons could take advantage of, or there are laws out there that can improve quality of life, and persons just don't know, so they don't get what they could actually benefit from.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, again, we remind you, if you need further guidance, please make sure you can go on the YouTube page, go on the Facebook page, and listen back to the program, so that you don't end up asking a question that we've already responded to. But as you can see, our good Shena is still going to answer the question.
Yes, we try.
Yes. But you can listen to the program and you can get the information that you need. And of course, if you have a question, please feel free to send the notification on WhatsApp, and we'll be happy to get that to you. Thank you so much, Shena. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you, Nadine, and thank you, listeners, for allowing me into your space yet another Friday morning. Have a wonderful day.
And stay safe and dry this weekend. I
see we're expecting some bad weather.
Yes, but so, Elsa, we're speaking to Elsa, and tell Elsa you need to find a different path. See what I did there?
Yes, and Elsa to be balanced in our approach. We can use the rain, but Elsa not too much. Be balanced.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much, and all the very best. All right.
Okay.